All right, we are live, and thank you for being patient. It is now 10 past, almost 10 past. It's 12:09. I promised to come on around noon, about 12 every day, and here I am. This live streaming thing, when you first start, is a lot more technical work and checklist than you would think, and so it has presented some issues that I'm working through and understanding and learning as I go. Which, by the way, the reason why I'm telling you that is because it's the same for everybody in any type of business or new thing that they choose to do in life, whether it's sports or business or social media or whatever it is. I talked about this yesterday. If you're okay and comfortable enough with being shitty at something for a little while, then you'll be fine, because eventually you'll be good at it. But just understand that some of the people that you see in life, even the greatest ones, even someone like Michael Jordan, didn't make the team in middle school and went home and cried, and then he came back with a vengeance and became the GOAT. But what I'm saying is that uh, I understand that there could be a little bit of time where I'm learning and I'm not going to be so good at this, but I'm just jumping into it because that's what entrepreneurship does to you. It puts you in a different sort of headspace and gives you different perspective. So with that in mind, I'm going to go on and continue. We have 4 people on. Keep in mind, please let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see me okay. One of my cameras had a little bit of fog. I want to make sure, see if everyone is with me in the chat. Please give me a 1 if you're with me in the chat and you can see me and everything is clear. 40 is a friend of mine. That's his nickname, 40. 40, if you're there, give me a little sign. Yes, from Rick Benson. Thank you, Rick. 40, if you're here, let me know. Tony, thank you so much. Audio good and sound. Okay, great. So I'll remind everybody every time we begin the show, I'm here for people who mostly, I mean, there are some people like Rick who are just contemplating buying or getting into the home services space, specifically cleaning. But the purpose of this show and why I'm here is for people who feel stuck in a job that they can't stand, who are tired of trading their time for a paycheck, tired of building someone else's dream, and tired of feeling like they don't have real options. And I've been exactly where you are. I built my way out of this with a simple business, and now my goal is to help you do the same. This isn't just about potentially starting a business, though. It's also about what the experience of being free does to you, how you become a different kind of person with more confidence, more clarity, more decisiveness, more capabilities, and most of all, more resilient. So you can create real financial freedom and real freedom in your life. And with it's regarding like your calendar and time, like actually being free to do the things that you want to do. So I'm going to share ideas. I'm going to share very honest perspectives, simple frameworks about mindset, sales, marketing, decision-making, problem solving, the things that you actually need to think and act like to be someone who can build their own future. And just as important as the tactics, I want this show to be a daily reminder that transformation is possible and that you're not crazy for wanting more and that you're not alone in the journey. There are so many people out there that want these things. And some people are just fine having a job and, going through, they're working their way up at somebody else's company and turning it off at 5 o'clock or whenever they leave the office. And if that's you, that's great. This isn't what the show is for. If that's you, maybe I won't be able to help you so much. But if that's not you and you are contemplating starting a business and you do feel stuck in your job, then you're in the right place. And because real transformation always starts with a decision, we begin every show with the same question. If you don't change anything, if you keep doing exactly what you're doing, you will very likely be in the same place 5 years from now, feeling the same frustration, the same lack of control, and the same resentment toward your job. But if you committed to transforming your life, like really committed, there's a real chance that in 5 years, you could be exactly where you want to be. So here's the real question. What hurts more? Continuing to endure a job you hate or know is a dead end, or enduring the discomfort of pursuing freedom and building something of your own? I guess we'll answer that question. Because here's the truth most people avoid. The pain of staying the same has zero upside. It just repeats. That's it. But the pain of trying to change, of building, of learning, of failing and trying again, at least gives you a real chance at a better life. It's really all about perspective. All right. Anybody have any questions, any thoughts before I get into this? Let's make you popular on, I don't know if that's spam or if that's real, but thank you. It's Lindsay. I'm here just on my business account today since what I logged off to. Okay. If you want to come up and give us an update, please do. Same goes with Rick, Tony, anybody that wants to be a guest of the show and come up on stage, let me know. I would love to take your questions and have you up right after I go through sort of my monologue for today and share some of my thoughts. And again, 40, if you're on, Michael Fortson, if you're on today, shoot me a comment and let me know. I'd love to know that you're here. You've had a lot of questions. A lot of people message me for months about making this transition, and then usually most of them actually do. And what today's episode is about is who tends to actually do well in home services. If we could flash that on the screen, what today's episode is about one more time, that would be great. Let's put it up on the screen because I thought it might give you more clarity and more insight for those of you that sort of feel stuck and don't really know what this is all about, or feel like you don't have complete clarity in what you might be getting into by pursuing a business like this. I broke down what I think, or who I think tends to do well in this type of environment and this type of business. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring some clarity to this situation. We're going to talk about who actually thrives in home services and why. All right. I'll start by saying that most people talk about which business you should start, but almost nobody talks about who you need to be to win in that business. I'm going to say it again. Nobody talks about who you need to be to win in that business. You can have the right idea, you can have the right market, the right timing, and you could still fail. If you're the wrong fit for the work, that's the point here. So I want to lead people in the right direction. I want to give them clarity and push them towards what I think is the easiest business to transition to for a number of reasons, but not if you're a good fit. There are tons, I'm talking hundreds of people that I get on a Zoom call with that tell me they want to start a remote cleaning business or some other type of home service business. And I look them right in the eye and tell them I don't think it's a good fit. And we have some really productive conversations after that. So you have to understand who you are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and what it's all about. Home services, cleaning, junk removal, landscaping, handyman, pressure washing. I mean, I'm talking about the whole thing, right? These businesses can make a lot of money, but they're not for everyone. Some people crush it in this world and others bounce off of it very fast. So I'm going to be really honest today, not inspirational. And I'm going to tell you exactly who tends to thrive in home services and who usually struggles. And not to gatekeep, but to save time, money, and frustration. All right. If you're the right fit, this might be one of the most predictable, practical paths to real income. If you're not, better to find out that you're not than have burned a year trying to force it, right? Success in home services is less about intelligence and more about temperament. Think about that. The winners in this space don't look like flashy entrepreneurs. They look like reliable, steady operators who take pride in simple work done well. You can see people who like clear, tangible work. You can see your results immediately. You know when a job is done. You either did it right or you didn't. There's less abstraction than in tech, marketing, or online businesses. So if you like finishing something and being able to literally see the result, you'll probably like home services. That's why I like it. It's very, very easy without even having any experience, looking at a room like a kitchen or a bathroom that is dirty, and then looking at an after picture and seeing it clean. Very little complexity to that. Most people fail because they're chasing excitement. Home service rewards people who are okay with doing the same few things over and over really well. Here are some examples. Making sure that the phone is answered really fast all the time. Showing up on time. Following a simple checklist. Doing consistent quality checks on the work. I mean, these are all really basic, easy things. But those are the examples of what most other businesses can't do consistently. And that's your opportunity. You want to know how to win? Answer the phone fast. You want to know how to win? Make sure your team just shows up on time. You want to know how to keep a customer? Follow a checklist. That's it. Consistency. The flashy businesses look better on Instagram, but the boring ones pay better in real life. That's the honest truth. And I know because I've chased a bunch of exciting ones, and like I've told you in the past, I didn't necessarily lose any money, but I definitely didn't make any. People who value steady progress over flashy wins. Home services grow gradually. You don't usually have viral moments. You win by stacking small, repeatable wins. If you need fireworks every week, this might frustrate you. But if you're okay with growing 5 to 10% a month, you'll do great here. If you've ever ran before, if you like to sprint, this isn't so much for you. But if you like to run marathons, you're going to do great at it. People that can follow systems tend to do really well. Like I mentioned, checklists, standard operating procedures, scripts, playbooks, repeatable processes. In home services, your systems make the money, not your personality. All right, so if you're an introvert, you don't think you're a good salesperson, that doesn't matter. Just being reliable matters. Nobody cares about what you can or can't tell them on the phone or on a phone call. They care if you show up on time and you're reliable. That's it. People who actually care about customers and communication do very well. I would say that the number one thing that I try to do better than all of my competitors is care more about customers. That's it. That's the one thing that I do. I focus on every day when I wake up, how can I create the best experience for my customers? I heard someone on a podcast the other day. The podcast is My First Million. And they were talking about this special event that Mr. Beast put on, Jimmy something. I forget his last name, Mr. Beast, the guy, the best YouTuber in the history of the world. Mr. Beast put on this like lunch for billionaires event. And the guy who hosts the My First Million podcast was one of the guys that came to it. He got a special invite. I don't think he's a billionaire. And they were all sitting around. And the founder of Chipotle said, anybody can make $1 billion in the restaurant industry if they just know how to turn every customer into a guest. That's it. That's what he said. He said, if people could figure out how to turn every customer into a guest, they can make $1 billion in food service. Okay, it's about the customer experience. That guy wakes up and he's obsessed with it. I wake up and I obsess about the little things. Like some people rearrange their entire day. They schedule their dogs to the groomer. They do all these different things around the appointment that they have. So if we don't show up on time, it screws up their entire day. That's what I'm talking about. That's a microcosm. If you can just be good at that, you can make tons of money in this business. That's the secret. Answering the phone matters. Showing up when you say you will matters. Communication, clear communication matters. In any cleaning business, speed and communication are more valuable than almost anything else because that is the heart of the customer experience. Now let's talk about people who tend to struggle. This is an honest contrast here. Again, this isn't about intelligence or talent. It's about a fit. People who need constant novelty. I was one of those people before I came into this world. They get bored easily. I'm one of those people. I have a short attention span. They jump from idea to idea. That was me. And they hate doing the same thing twice. Can I, if anybody is feeling this, let me see it in the chat. I will get to your questions. I see Cassandra Brooks here. I will get to that in 1 minute. Hang tight. I'm almost ready to take guests and to answer questions. And you have questions about Google. Remind me, Cassandra, to give you a little bit of advice from a real situation that happened this morning about Google Ads. If you are addicted to new ideas, home services will feel slow and repetitive. Most of your success here comes from doing unglamorous things over and over and over again, which might be a relief to some people, actually. Same types of jobs, same types of customers, same processes. Now I want to talk about people who avoid difficult conversations. Because in home services, you have to be able to set boundaries. You have to be able to say no. You have to be able to handle complaints. And you have to talk about money clearly. But I think in any business, if you don't talk about money clearly, you probably won't succeed. So if you hate uncomfortable conversations, this business will chew you the fuck up. Just being honest. But if you do hate uncomfortable conversations, for me, that would be more of a reason to jump in, because if you hate that and you run away from it, you'll never be good at it. People who resist structure, let's talk about that. They don't like the rules, they don't like the checklists, and they don't like being told to do it this way. I'm also that person. Ironically, the more creative you are, the more you need structure in this business. I see comments coming in. Half marathons are fantastic. That definitely sounds like me. I know, John. I see you there. I see you, John. In closing, here's the honest truth. Home services doesn't reward the smartest person in the room. It rewards the most reliable one. And if you like clarity over chaos, systems over hype, and steady progress over flash, you are built for this game. But if you're chasing excitement, novelty, and shortcuts, this isn't your arena. The beauty of home services is this. You don't have to be special to win. You just have to be consistent. And consistency is something anyone can learn. All right, before we get into the fun facts, let's jump to some questions. Let's answer some questions. I'm going to start with Cassandra. Hi, John. I'm 3 months in, started a remote cleaning business in Central Florida. I spent all my money on Google PPC with no clients. Also pay monthly for SEO, website, no clients, please help. All right, Cassandra, are you still with us? Because I am going to give you some advice. But I want to make sure you're still here. Please let me know if you're still here so I can have a conversation with you. And if you would like to come up and be a guest of the show, shoot me a DM on Instagram at John Margalite. And you can come up and we can actually have a conversation, or I can just answer your question. Now, in my online community, I have a Discord server. It's private. It's only for members of the Rags to Riches University program. But I'm going to share what happened this morning. One of our members, he's newer at this. His Google profile got suspended. And Google's usually pretty vague about this. And he sort of went on this rant on the Discord server about how unfair and what a monopoly Google is. And I immediately put a stop to it. Because if you let your mind go that way, you're going to start to contaminate it with all sorts of negative things and negative feelings and negative thoughts that you just don't need. The right way to look at this is to do what I'm about to tell Cassandra right now. Take a step back and think. Google is your best friend. You know it works. You know that's where all your customers go. You know you have to be there. So instead of thinking, oh, they're a monopoly and they're taking my money, let's flip the switch. Let's think about what we can do to make Google work for us. So if you didn't get any clients, Cassandra, I want to ask you, did you at least get some leads? Can you give me some feedback? It'd probably be better if you came up here and talked to me, because then I'll be able to pinpoint it right away within 1 minute. I'll pinpoint the problem and I'll give you the solution. But I need some feedback. I need to do a little bit more discovery before I jump to conclusions. All right. And keep in mind, everybody, she's also talking about search engine optimization, which takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time. It's not too bad if you know what you're doing, but the ads, you can turn them on and you can start to get leads immediately. It's like a faucet. You turn it on, the water comes out. All right, Cassandra, if you're with us, please DM me on Instagram and the mod will send you a code. But while we wait for her, I'm going to sprinkle some fun facts in here, okay? Most $1 million home service owners were not entrepreneurial geniuses. Many were former employees, tradespeople, or regular 9-to-5 workers. Let me say that again. Most people that have a multi-million-dollar home service business were not geniuses. They were former employees, tradespeople, or regular 9-to-5 workers. So if that's you, your chances of success are high, because that's where people that came from your place ended up. Here's another one. The biggest predictor of success in home services, it's reliability, not skill. Who would have thought? The best operators usually make less noise on social media. Hopefully that's not true for me. They're too busy running profitable businesses. That came from ChatGPT. I don't know about that. And actually, the truth on that is that if you build the company the right way, you should be spending less time, because you will have systems that handle all the heavy lifting and you'll be able to automate and delegate just about everything, except for those moments where perhaps the owner needs to step in with a personal touch and speak directly to the customer. Many people who fail in home services would actually do great in sales or marketing, but hate operations. All right. This is an operations business. You don't need to be good at sales. You can get people to run your Google ads for you. Not a big deal, but you need to be a good operator. I have a question for everybody. A question. If you're honest, do you get bored easily, or are you okay with doing the same thing every day? Let me hear in the chat. I'm one of those people that gets bored. I'm curious. I want to know, just surveying the audience, who is okay with doing the same monotonous work every day over and over if it prints money, and who just gets bored? Anybody in the chat? Give me a little bit of love here just so I know you're with me. I see that people are here on live, but I would like to know. Anybody? All right, it's crickets in here. I'm curious what people think about being... Yes, okay. Thanks, Rick. I'm curious about what people think about being in uncomfortable conversations. Do you avoid them? Do you gravitate towards them? I'm somebody who likes confrontation. I know that sounds really weird. My wife is very... she gets very sensitive over this. She hates when I do it in public. But if there's a confrontation to be had, I will be the first one up to have it. Not a physical confrontation. You enjoy them. Great. I do too. I do too. It's actually funny when if a customer gets upset about something, especially if they do something dumb like threaten a lawsuit. You know, we're talking about a $200 job of cleaning, and they're threatening a lawsuit. It would have to be small claims court. Has anybody ever gone to small claims court? It's a real pain in the ass. And let me tell you, everybody loses. It takes forever. You have to send a proper demand letter and have it stamped and all these things. And by the time you get around to actually getting into court, it's a waste of your time. So at the end of the day, it's much better to just like refund somebody the $200. I see Rick here. Customers like honesty too. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. I have a question about the process of selling a home service business. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I got an offer on my company. I'm not looking to take it, but I do just play the market and see what it's like and what's going on. And I think I spoke to this in one of the earlier episodes, that the way that someone would evaluate a business like this would be what we call a gross multiple, or in a simpler way, a multiple of the seller's discretionary earnings. So however much money I make times 2 or 2.5, that's the multiple. That's about what the business is worth. And if I ever go through the process of selling it, I'll document it and I'll walk everybody through it on the show. All right. I was hoping Cassandra could come up because that's a really, really good question. And I'm just going to go ahead and get in depth in her question because I like it. And if she sees the replay, it'll be very helpful. So apparently she spent all of her money on Google pay-per-click ads with no clients. All right. You have to understand that if you're going to get traffic from paid ads, meaning there are people searching on the internet, and when they search for best cleaning service near me or whatever keyword phrase that they're searching, you pay Google to be at the top of those search results. You're essentially holding up a sign for your company that says, this is who we are, this is what we offer, and we're probably a good fit because we came up at the top. Now, if you do that, that's only one half of the equation. You need the conversion side. This is what we call the traffic side. And the traffic can come from two places. It can come from a paid advertisement, like the one I just alluded to, or it can come from content that you create. It could be a blog. It could be a video somewhere. It could be a social media post, whatever it is. But if you get traffic from content, that's much warmer traffic because they've consumed something that you put out there. And for some reason, they must have liked it, or they felt compelled to call or fill out a form on your website. That's warm traffic. It's the best kind. Most valuable. And then there's paid traffic, which is cold traffic, meaning that they haven't been introduced to you yet. In other words, they're on a different part of the buyer's journey. Warm traffic already knows who you are, starts to build a little bit of like and trust. Cold traffic, you don't have that rapport with yet. You're a stranger. So you need to focus on the rapport and the trust building because you don't have it yet. But with warm traffic, you do. So you can get right into your offer. So in this particular instance, she is paying for Google to show her business at the top of the search results. And I'm willing to bet, without having a conversation with her, that she doesn't have the conversion mechanism dialed in. What is the conversion mechanism? It's a fantastic website that shows people exactly what you do, how it benefits them, and how they can get it. Those are the 3 things that you need on your website that a visitor must notice and be aware of in 1 second or less. Because if they aren't getting those signals, what is it? How does it benefit me? And how do I get it? They bounce. And it's literally called the bounce rate. It's the rate of people that come and leave immediately. And it's always because one of those 3 things or lack thereof. And so I'm curious to put her website up and to critique it right here on the show. Because chances are she doesn't have the conversion elements built in. I'm going to put it on the screen, and I'm going to walk you through how to create a totally conversion optimized web page. You guys ready for this? I'm going to share all of my knowledge right now, and I'm going to walk you through my homepage. Or I'm sorry, I'll walk you through one of my landing pages that I send cold traffic to. All right. This is cold traffic now. All right. Let me know when you can see my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Let's see here. I figured out how to do this last time. There we go. All right. I'm going to share. And there it is. Let me know. Please give me a 1 in the chat if you can see my screen. All right. Now, here we go. Mod, can you see my screen? Everybody can see my screen. Give me a 1. Yes. Okay, 1. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, Cassandra, you're here. You know what? I needed to scroll down. I didn't notice you were still here. I'd like you to come up. But after this is my homepage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one of my service pages. And the screen I'm on is a little bit small, so it's smushing things together. But what's happening here is that these are a list of my services that you see on the dropdown, okay? I do that on purpose. I want each type of service to have its own page on my website. Why? Because if somebody searches Airbnb cleaning or deep cleaning or move out cleaning, I want to send them to a page that has specific information about exactly what they're searching for. Because then when they land on that page, that's why it's called a landing page, they're going to get signals that they're in the right place. And this is how you start to build that trust, that rapport, and that conversion. All right. Sorry, I'm at a salon. Can't come on the show now. Oh, don't worry, Cassandra. Don't worry. I'm going to go into this deep. Thank you for letting me know. So let's now pretend that you are on Google and you are searching for the best move-in cleaning service in Las Vegas. You just bought a home here and you're on Google and you type in best move-in cleaning service in Summerlin. Okay. You would land on this page. You would see it at the top of the search results because I pay for that. And you would see it right here on the page. Now, notice something about the page. You see something twice. You see something twice. All right. Now you see something 3 times. What do you see? You see a call to action. And you see call to action for the thing that we want the customer or the prospect to do most, a way to contact. That's right. That's it. We want the person to call us immediately. That's the highest value action that we can take the site visitor on. That's the highest action, highest value action they can do. So if we paid to get them over to our site, we want to make it very clear to them what we want them to do. And that's call now. So they can see the phone number and they can dial it, or this is click to call. The buttons are strategically made to initiate a phone call. Okay. In this case, if you're on your phone, it's going to ask you for permission. If you're on a browser, it'll ask you for permission. I want to call right now. But if we did call, one of the representatives, one of my virtual assistants would answer immediately. Because that's all you have to do to be good at this. That's all you have to do is be consistent. But when the person lands on this page, they not only see the ways to get in touch with us, immediately they see what it is. It's expert move-in cleaning in Las Vegas. Very clear headline. And then after the headline, I'm very clear about how it benefits them. Every last trace of the previous occupants, gone. Detailed deep cleaning you can trust from floors to fixtures. We cover it all. We're flexible in our scheduling. Simple, clear communication. No hidden fees, ever. All right? Those are the things that build rapport. Those are the elements that help you gain the prospect's trust without speaking to them. And as you go down, you'll find all these, what I call trust badges. Okay, we're highlighting the value propositions. We're coming down, and I've showed this before. I'm showing that we were rated top service, cleaning service in 2025 by City Council. We've got all these awards from Angie's List, Super Service. We're the highest rated on Google. We're rated well on Facebook, and we're rated pretty well on Yelp. All right. Those are all trust elements. And as the prospect scrolls through the site, they are feeling signals from every word, every graphic, every picture. All right. I don't use stock photos ever. Okay. That's me pretending to clean a fridge. And there's information about move-in cleaning, what it is, the benefits of having the place professionally move-in cleaned. You're seeing all this in real time. There's my wife pretending to clean the window tracks, pretending to clean the shower pan. All right. Here are all these things. This is beautiful carpet lines that we do. All these things. How nice is that? Look at those lines. They look like shark bites, shark teeth. And you go through and you go through. You see testimonials. It's huge, right? I talked about this before. There's proof and there's social proof. Real proof is like before and after pictures. It showcases the work your company has done. Social proof is what other people say about their experience with your company. You got to have both. All right. So here's social proof, and I already showed proof with the shark bite lines. Excellent. It shows exactly what we're offering, frequently asked questions, where we service, and it's going to have our contact information at the bottom. Don't underestimate the power of showing a name. I'm sorry, an address, a phone number, hours. All those little things you might think aren't a big deal, but they are when you're talking about a stranger inviting you and trusting you to come into their home. Why do I have an address there? Do I really have an office where people come in? No. I have a virtual office. All that means is that I get to use their address as a professional storefront or office front, but it builds trust. It says to somebody who looks at it at the bottom, I know where they are. I can go there if I have a problem. I know where to find them. It's peace of mind. All right? These are all the things that Cassandra needs to have in place if she's going to monetize that traffic, if she's going to capitalize on the traffic that she's driving from her paid advertisements on Google. This has to be in place. And then right after this, guess what? Someone's got to pick up that phone right away and they got to deliver. They have to ask the right questions. They have to take command of the call. They have to be a great advisor on the phone and recommend the best solution. They don't have to sell anything to anybody. The moment you try to sell, you will lose customers. Don't ever try to sell them anything. You don't have to. Just listen to them. After all, we could argue that the best salespeople from the highest, the top of the top, I would say would be probably mortgage. These are huge financial decisions in your life. And the people that really, really do well, all they care about is what's in the best interest of their customers. They know that strategy keeps them in the business for decades and ultimately makes them the most amount of money because they have the most amount of trust. Trust makes people comfortable, and comfortable people buy. That's simple. All right, I've got some more notes. Here. Any questions? A way to contact, because I'm just reading through these questions here. If anybody would like to be a guest of the show, now's the time. Any feedback, any questions, any comments? If anybody is wondering about something like Cassandra was, if you get those things dialed in, then you will get clients. I promise you that. All right. I want to mention too one thing, and I would like the mod to put it on the screen. I made a free PDF, and it's titled "Why Most Businesses Fail Before They Ever Make Any Money." And if that's something that you would like to read, it's very short. I think it's entertaining. It's eye-opening, to say the least. You can get that. Could we put that resource up, please? And if you can't copy and paste the link that's going up on the screen, DM me and I'll send it to you. All right? Just DM me the word free and I'll send you the free PDF that I put together that will make you look at things differently. And it will make things better. It'll give you clarity. All right. Moving along. We have a good audience today. We have some questions and some comments in the chat. Why not Google LSA first? Well, Rick, that's a good question. So Rick's question is, why not Google local service ads first and then Google ads? I don't know if Cassandra was talking about Google ads or local service ads. They're both Google products. They're both Google platforms. But local services is a different beast and typically your highest lead quality because it's going to show someone your Google business profile, assuming you have some good reviews on there. It's going to show them you've been verified by Google, which means that Google's checked your business license and maybe they've asked you for insurance. They do vetting. So if they let you on the platform and they approve you, that means that they're signaling to the public that you're a trustworthy company. All right? That you're a trustworthy company. And on that note, well, not to get sidetracked, but if you're with me here, Google local service ads is different from Google ads in these ways. It's very simple. Number one, a local service ad requires zero creatives. You don't need to write copy. You don't need images. You don't need anything. All you're doing is paying Google to put you at the top of the search results of your business listing when somebody searches for services that you offer. And number two, it's got all that vetting and trustworthy signaling that I talked about. And number three, it's only taking search queries from your service area, only from zip codes that you indicate in your profile that you serve. Google Ads is different from local service ads because it's taking queries from the entire World Wide Web, not just your zip codes. And you have to write your title and subtitle for your ad. Now, it's not hard. I'm one of the only companies that offers same-day service. And I know that's a competitive advantage. I know it's hard to offer, and I know why most other companies don't offer it. But I do. So I write it in my ad. Anything that can show why I'm different and why maybe they should pay more for my service, like the fact that nobody else can serve them the same day, I'm going to write it in my ad. It's not rocket science. All right? All right. I talked about the guy who sort of had this negative thought about Google today. And I want to finish up on my thought about that because if you remember, if you were with me maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago, maybe it was the first episode I did, I talked about the 2 salesmen. It's raining. One of them looks out the window. He wakes up in the morning with his wife and he says, "Oh, it's pouring out. Nobody's going to be out at the car lots today. There are going to be very, very few people that come to the car lot, maybe none. I'm going to call in sick and take the day off." And then across town, the same town, another car salesman wakes up, sees it's pouring outside, and says to his wife, "There are probably only going to be very few people out there today, maybe none. But I'm going to go to work because if one person comes on the lot, they really want to buy a car if they're out there in this rain, and I'm going to get the sale. I'm going to get the business." Same situation, 2 very different perspectives. One's powerful and optimistic, and the other one probably isn't going anywhere in life. And it's all perspective. That's it. Today, when he got his profile suspended on Google, he sent a message on the Discord server to me saying, basically, fuck Google. This is unfair and this is a monopoly. But I said, no. Don't turn into the guy who says it's raining outside and you're going to call off. Turn into the other guy. What does the other guy think? The other guy thinks they're suspending people. Holy shit. That means that most other people who try to do this are going to have a hard time getting it done. So when I get past this, most of my competitors are going to be left behind, suspended, still complaining about how unfair it is. You know, everybody needs help. I would love some feedback in the chat. I thought about changing my program up. I thought about offering the same or lower price to enter and a monthly subscription to a class I would teach 4 or 5 nights a week, where you come into the class, you ask any questions you want, and I help you with your business along the entire journey, not just the setup. Because I realized everybody who's in the community does so much better. And it's not because they're smarter or they're in a better city or anything like that. It's because they can literally go on the Discord server and get help in real time with anything that's standing in their way. And that's real value. That's real value. And I'm the one answering most of the questions. So again, you know, if you want that free PDF, send a message. Just DM me the word free. If you want to come up on stage, DM me an Instagram that you want to come up. You'll get a code. It'll enable you to come up on stage. You can hang out with me. We can talk about anything that you want to talk about. We have 7 people in the chat. I really appreciate you guys being here on the live with me today. And I want to give you something. And I made that PDF for you. I want you to check it out. All right? Now, Cassandra, do you have any more questions about what I just did, what that exercise was about, and why it's so important to think about getting customers as traffic and conversions? Traffic, conversions. Those are the 2 pieces you got to dial in. And once you do that, you get customers and you get them at an affordable price. All right, Cassandra, if you want me to help you get that dialed in for free, shoot me a DM. I'll take a 15-minute call with you at no cost, and I'll just help you to get it dialed in. All right? Southern Utah Cleaning Company, maybe do an option for both, full course and a cheaper course with subscription. Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about that. Southern Utah Cleaning Company, are you in my group? I don't remember. I don't think so. But yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I'm thinking. Thanks for the feedback. I just want to be able to help people all the way through. It feels good when you win. It feels really good. I had an ad hit me yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week. And it said, come to EDC. E is an elephant, D is in David, C is in Charlotte. Come to EDC. And I thought to myself, is that like, they have these like, I think it's called EDM, or they have these concerts here in Vegas where the techno music's blaring. But I looked at the fine print and it said Entrepreneurs Dinner Club, EDC. And I thought, what a great idea. It was a $50 fee to be a member. And this guy puts together in every major city a group of people that are like-minded, that are entrepreneurial, that have their own businesses, and he puts them together for a dinner. He picks a great restaurant, and he breaks them up. He had so many people there, he had to break it up into 2 different groups. He had to break it into 2 groups, and I was sitting with 6 other people, and there was another table next to us with another 6 or 7 people. I mean, the guy had almost 15 people there, and it was a great time. It was a great time. It's a brilliant idea. Why? Because most people aren't like us. Most people think they want all the smoke, but they really don't want it. They want all the promises that entrepreneurship gives you. They want the freedom, but they don't actually want to be entrepreneurs. But the people that do, if you surround yourself with them, there's incredible value. I would have paid $500. I think that the guy who puts on the event underpriced his event by 10x. That was the power of what was happening last night at these tables. Amazing connections, great people that I'll be friends with for years. I could just tell. Awesome group of people. EDC for $50. What an incredible membership. I've been invited to Entrepreneurs Organization. If any of you have ever heard of EO, it's a great, great organization. EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. You have to be doing over $1 million a year for 3 years consecutively, and then you can be a member. It's $10,000 a year, so it's pricey, but it's incredible. It's worth every penny. And then there's YPO, which is Young Presidents Organization, which is like the big brother to EO. I believe it's $20,000 a year, and you have to be doing 10 million or more in 2 or 3 consecutive years. So apparently there are levels to this, but for $50 a month, if you do transition to having your own business, look this up. Make some incredible connections. There was a real estate broker there. She manages several properties, and guess what? The properties need to be cleaned all the time. So, of course, I gave her a few cards, and I'm sure that I'll be hearing from her. Why? Because not only do we want to be with like-minded people, there was this incredible magic that was happening in the table and in the room. Everybody wanted to help each other. Everybody went around and said, tell us what you do and how we can help you. Why do you think that they did that naturally? We didn't get any messages from the guy who set it up that said, we want everyone to follow this format. We want everyone to sit down and tell us what they do and how they can help each other. No, we did it ourselves. You know why? Because we all know the struggle that we go through, and we all know what another valuable relationship can do. So we all offered it to each other without a prompt. It just happened naturally, and it was amazing to see. So if you're going to go and take that leap and start your own business, things like this await you, and it changes you. It honestly makes you a better person. It really does. And I think that the way that you will choose to handle your business consistent every day, you could take that and apply it to relationships and school and anything else and do exceptionally well. Any questions? Any comments? Maybe an option for both, full course, a cheaper one. Oh, no, it's Lindsay just here on YouTube. Oh, got it. Okay. Got it, Lindsay. I knew that I knew that we had talked because I got your DMs, but I forgot whether you were in the group or not. All right. We're coming to the end of this segment and the show. Let me see if I have more notes for you guys. If anybody wants to be a guest here at the end, please come up. I encourage everyone that needs any help or wants to discuss anything from operations to advertising to mindset to approach, standard operating procedures, whatever it is that you want to talk about, or just a decision. You're thinking about doing it. Today's episode was all about whether you were a good fit or not. If you're not, then don't do it. It's crazy. It's crazy. I can tomorrow. Okay. It's crazy to me how one of my buddies, guy I mentioned, Michael, at the beginning of the show, he messages me probably once a week saying, I'm still thinking about it. I really want to do it. I'm trying not to be a bitch about this. That's what he texts me. And I start to think to myself, if it's a purely financial thing and you just don't want to, spend $1,000 to start the business, I get it. But $1,000 to start a business? I mean, come on, that's That's probably the least expensive risk that you could take. And if it doesn't work out, but you test yourself and you learn a bunch of things and you level up, I think that the money is just worth that. We tend to figure out what we like by figuring out what we don't like. It's deductive reasoning. It's literally what they teach to get good grades on tests. Standardized testing, deductive reasoning. What business should I pick? Deductive reasoning. Same. No different. Hopefully today's show gave you a little bit of clarity on whether or not you are a good fit for this. And if you are, take the fucking leap. Go try it. If it's not for you, then shut it down. Use it as a stepping stone to get somewhere else. But if it is for you, make a bunch of money and clear up your calendar to do the things you want to do. All right. One simple takeaway from the show. One simple takeaway from the show. What did I write here? Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. Oh, that's a mouthful. That's John C. Maxwell. He's a best-selling author. Let me give it to you one more time. John C. Maxwell says, small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. Jim Rohn says, success is neither magical nor mysterious. Feels kind of magical. He says, success is the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. Think about that. Jim Rohn, he's the GOAT of Jim Rohn is the guy who told me the story about the two salesmen that wake up and they talk about the rain. That's from Jim Rohn. He's dead now, but boy, does he have a ton of gems out there, and his work is published everywhere. Tim Robbins quotes Jim Rohn. That's how high up on this totem pole Jim Rohn is. And he says, success is neither magical nor mysterious. There's no mystery in magic. It's the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. It's about as eloquent as one could say it. That's about as eloquent as one could put it. Boring done consistently beats brilliant done occasionally. That's John Margulies. Hi, Annette. By the way, for anybody that sees Annette Shenley's comments, that's my mom. Hi, Mom. You see this? Every bit of support helps. This show's new to me. I'm getting support from my family. It helps. Hi, Mom. Boring done consistently beats brilliant done occasionally. Think about it. Consistency builds wealth. Excitement builds excuses. And once again, the takeaway from today, just like Rick says in the chat, you don't win by being flashy. You win by simply being reliable. That's it for today's show. If anybody has any comments or questions, please let me know. Thank you for showing up. We have 10 strong in the live. I appreciate you all. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them before I log off. It was fun today. I had a good time. I hope you can feel my passion about this. I want to move people. I want to move you. I want you to go from feeling stuck and unsure and unclear to confident, clear path. That's what I want. I want to move you there. So if you want that, come here every day just for 1 hour. And I promise you that I will deliver. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.